as possible. They don't want games to drag out to the late game, which is something that we see a lot here in Europe. Is a lot of teams picking like Vox or other late Krull, other late game heroes. The two Russian teams have a totally different mindset, and it seems to be working thus far.
All right, so quick correction. It's actually going to be Schwan's going to stay in. It's going to be Jin Yi that actually comes out. So Denir, who we're told is actually the jungle, one of these guys got to go into that roam.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I think it's Schwenschwen's going to be playing down Roam now.
Okay.
So then he also played Roamer most of the last VGL qualifiers for their team. And because they had another play with Tony Luo.
Yes, Tony. Yeah, unfortunately just not here for this tournament.
Unfortunately.
Yes. All right, so the first bans are now on the table here, Roam?
With Koshka, so they know Angry Pandas likes to play very aggressive, hungry comps. A Koshka ban is like the perfect fit for them. Because they get to go first, they're opening that extra slot either for like picking a late game hero or maybe a Sky. They're going to try and probably secure that first pick as Arden.
Okay, and Adagio's out, so Arden is definitely going to be, first pick material. Humanist, I mean, you did just actually watch the match. As an Arden comes into this, do you think Blackhawk would have a big advantage in that?
Well, the way they played, it was aggressive. It seems like they executed all their team fights very well. So, I mean, to see Arden picked up by them, it's pretty scary.
It's scary indeed, Zekin.
Most certainly, one of the big things about Blackhawk taking Arden is they went for so many dives.
Yep.
With Arden, with the Vanguard, they're going to get out of those dives so much more easily.
All right, so Angry Pandas, what do you think is on the table here, Rome?
Taka.
There's the fortress. You say Taka?
Yeah, I'd like to see a Taka.
You'd like to, or you think they're going to?
Who knows, but
He just wants to see a Taka.
with all the Ringos played today, the Skies played today, Taka's actually a very good pick. And Taka with Fortress together, it would work out pretty good, but they went with a Sky. Who knows?
Well, you still have that last option. Fortress, of course, is going to be in that roam. Sky could...
Praying for it.
They could put the Sky in that lane. And, we've seen Weapon Sky, we've seen Crystal Sky. What are you thinking here, Bacon?
I think it's definitely going to be a Crystal Sky. I really think Jetpacks is kind of one of the only ones doing the weapon power Sky.
Okay.
Looking at over now on the side of Blackhawk, they have so much available to them still. I wouldn't be surprised to see Glaive come out just because he does help facilitate that aggressive dive-heavy style.
Well, there's the Rona, the other big option in that regard. Looks like, Krull, Rona, and Glaive seem to be all very much interchangeable here at this point. And that's another Vox. A surprising amount of Vox here today, Rome.
I wouldn't pick a Taka now for the last pick.
Oh, so sorry.
I'd be like, no, don't listen to me.
Well, there you go. It's going to be that Scarf now to finish things off. So, again, no Taka. Oh, well. I mean, it is 111. It is Black Feather. It's not Kestrel. But, I mean, even in NA, we had a 0% Taka win rate. Maybe he's a little afraid of that.
But like we saw with how Vaughn in NA played, they paired a Scarf with a Fortress, and they actually did really well in the jungle. And I'm thinking that this is what Angry Pandas is going for this game. They'll probably try and play this Sky up in lane, so she's able to farm that CS, get into that late game, and just pretty much deal that burst damage. But with Sky in the jungle, with Scarf in the jungle, they're able to build up tanky early, and they can still be very aggressive with a very good late scaling comp.
So Scarf jungle, it's not exactly what I immediately think of when I see Scarves, especially with the Sky. I would have definitely put the Sky there. But, Zekin, going back and forth with those percentage damages stacks, I mean, we have seen that in NA a few times.
Most certainly. It's a pretty effective strategy right now. Blackhawk, they do have Arden, they do have Rona, both pretty tanky. Arden especially just has a huge amount of health. And if Scarf is able to get those Phantom Flame stacks up on Arden, Arden will melt. Along with Fortress's just bleed proc, it's going to hurt Arden a whole heck of a lot.
All right, so, I mean, it will come down to, again, the way that these guys play. Oh, so super happy fun time. Yes, thank you. These guys are still in good spirits. They might be down 0-1. They're not out of the tournament. They're not looking at, tournament life, but their spirits are definitely still very high. They've just had themselves a substitution change. That mental energy is very important when it comes to tournaments like this, isn't it, Bacon?
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. The mental fortitude is so important, and we saw it over in North America in the finals. The team goes down 2-0, is on the verge of losing the finals, and comes back and gets the reverse sweep. You have to have such strong mental ability to be able to stay organized and stay together and working as a unit through that. So to see that Angry Pandas are still in really good spirits after going down 1-0 here, it really gives you hope. And again, I like their composition. I think they definitely got the better composition out of this draft. It's just a matter of if they're going to be outplayed again.
All right, so Humanist, you're there at front seats for veritably the slaughter of game number 1. But now coming into this one, you know, percentage damage is going out. Maybe we can deal with the tankiness of Blackhawk. Do you think the Angry Pandas have it?
I think that Angry Pandas do. We shouldn't count them out because they showed moments of brilliance in their early ganks. Of course, things started to go in the favor of Blackhawk pretty quickly. I think there was a moment in the lane, around 5-6 minutes into the game, where Lele was doing actually really well in lane, getting a lot accomplished, and he just overextended just a touch. He got caught out at that point, and then Blackhawk really never let him come back. He moved back into lane, they pushed him out again. So if Angry Pandas, they keep it together, we know that they can play well and make these ganks happen. I give them a shot, but Blackhawk looked amazing. I mean,
Yeah, one of the big things about this game, though, is Angry Pandas does not even need to let the ganks happen. They can just farm it up. They can put extreme pressure on the jungle with both Fortress and Scarf as that duo. If they're able to just do as much damage as they want, if they can run around through the jungle, I don't think they're going to have to worry about anything.
All right, well, we'll see as we are into the fold. Players starting to make their way out to positions on the map. And this is going to be a great match, and I'm excited to be here casting this for you guys. We'll see how it plays out. Can the Angry Pandas come back in Game 2 and take this off of Blackhawk? We'll see.
So this is a little bit unexpected. Lele is actually going into lane as opposed to Denier. I definitely expected Lele and Zhuan to be the jungle duo. I wanted to see that Fortress and that Scarf together dropping like huge amount of damage, especially against the early game composition of Bastion and Cold Ice. If they can shut down that Rona and Arden, it'll be really rough for Blackhawk.
We'll see how it plays out for them. Teammates from both sides making their way down to the shop to pick up these early items, doing a bit of just posturing, I guess. You have Angry Pandas over here, Ford Barrage coming out, Bastion eating a bit of damage. So Sika is making his way down from lane, so that'll say, Pandas, get out of my jungle.
Most certainly, and right now, their team's not too worried. They took a big chunk of damage from the Ford Barrage, but right now, you see Angry Pandas immediately invading. They have a powerful composition for early game, regardless of who they have in the jungle.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can take any of these camps. Bastion eating some damage. The Ford Barrage not there, but repositions with a Surrey Strike. He is bleeding, but will move back on that low health. And Xuan just going to front line for Denier. Denier is going to be able to take these camps out here. So that's a nice invade for Team Angry Pandas.
Most certainly. Getting to a 10-5 CS lead in the jungle, that's actually pretty huge. They are taking another meta camp away, and right now, Angry Pandas just showing that aggression off early game. And let's see, Sasiska might be getting jumped on right here.
Yeah, they make the move up into lane. Sasiska is taking damage from that Ford Barrage. The Goop slowed him down as well. He lets out that pulse and will not get chunked down. So he is okay, but he has to feel that threat.
Yeah, however, in the meantime, Zhuan getting caught a little bit in his own jungle, but he's not really too worried. He might be trying to steal one of these camps away, but I don't really think he can do much. 2v1, it's a little bit too much for him. Though he might be going. I'm not actually sure if he got that. I think Arden got that. Go Bash N.
Yeah, so it's Blackhawk coming back the other way, picking up some minion camps of their own from the opponent's jungle. And, you know, it's the rotation that Angry Pandas chose there to maybe poke on mid that allowed that to happen. So we'll see if they make that same sort of rotation here as the game goes on.
Most certainly, and right now Cold Ice, Bastion doing fairly well for themselves. They are trailing a little bit behind Denier and Zhuan, but Lea is doing quite well in the lane. He's 19 CS up to against Sasiska's 23. However, he has the lane pushing towards him. He has a little bit of poke advantage, so if he's able to chunk Sasiska again with a Spitfire, he's going to have a pretty dominant performance in this lane.
Well, some more aggressive positioning coming out of Angry Pandas. They make the rotation, decide not to make any plays, and we'll move back. They did drop some scout traps in the enemy jungle as well when they made that rotation. Blackhawk moves over. They'll take these bottom minion camps and maybe to look to move forward and get some more.
Most certainly, and right now Cold Ice picking up the double light shield, pretty smart, especially against the double crystal composition of Angry Pandas. And on the other side, we see Zhuan picking up the double light armor, so he's going to be frontlining for his team like no other.
Oh, he's the big bad wolf, right?
He is going to be the big bad wolf. And Sasiska right now still sitting on just a Swift Shooter. Lea hasn't fought yet either, so nothing huge coming out of the laners yet. But Zhuan jumping in on Sasiska.
Yeah, so Sasiska is getting lit up, but then you have Bastion coming from the back with that Vanguard. Cold Ice there as well, and they're not going to be able to clean up the kill there. Forward Barrage damage is pretty scary, but Sasiska repositions himself and will go ahead and recall home.
Right, so fantastic play coming out from Angry Pandas, taking that early game composition and pushing their advantage. I don't even know if Blackhawk has a better late game. Like, if Angry Pandas plays their composition correctly, they should just poke, 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 and they will never get engaged on it. Bastion's going to have to land some fantastic gauntlets to make anything happen later on.
Yeah, and as you say it, they are in the jungle, stealing more minion camps. Now Cold Ice taking a lot of damage. Oh, is into the fray. He was backed up by that Vanguard, and they turn around. They're going to get the kill here, and I'm not quite sure that's what they expected with the Vox rotation to come down. 2 kills as the first blood goes down at 4 minutes, 30 seconds in this game.
Right, but even with those 2 kills, Angry Pandas is still leading in gold. Though the gold mine is coming out from Blackhawk right now, it's not going to be worth too much. It's only 40 seconds after it spawned. It'll give a tiny gold payout, but you know, a little bit of gold, it can go a long way.
You know, maybe it's speaking in generalities. You say, okay, every team wants to get the first gold mine, right, and then take control of it. But when we talked to all these teams, Blackhawk was one of the teams that, when we said, what's key to you winning this game? They said, you know, we need to do decent early, but we get that first gold mine, and we feel really confident.
Most certainly, and they are definitely able to play around that very well. As long as they keep minion candies on it, as long as they fight around it, they should have a huge advantage coming into this mid game.
That they will, and looks like they're hanging out here in mid lane, maybe just hoping that Leia moves forward into a bad position. Leia not gonna do that though this time, and so things are all calm here in the lane. With that said, Bastion has found Xuan and Denier down here in the jungle, but now it's a 3v2. This will force Fortress back into lane and away from the danger. Denier in a bit of trouble. No, Suri's strike to reposition. A little forward barrage as he backs himself up there. A big trade coming out. Death from above. Are you kidding me? Bastion. Oh, he'll be the one to go down. So here we have Angry Pandas on the board, and they got to be happy that they get this kill and maybe look for more.
Most certainly, but however, you have to keep in mind, Angry Panda's team composition does fall off a little bit later on in the game. So Siska going for that Aftershock right now on that Vox, and Cold Ice going for the standard weapon build. So they're going to have the mixed types of damage coming into the mid game and late game, and if they build some shield, they're going to be able to be much more tanky against the team composition of Angry Pandas.
Big 1v1 happening down here in the jungle between Xuan and Cold Ice, and it looked like Fortress was, you know, he was doing pretty good holding his own there, but with the backup of Bastion coming through, he will go down.
Yeah, that's a little bit questionable coming out of Xuan. I'm not really sure why he went into the jungle on his own. He might have thought he was strong enough, or he was trying to steal some jungle camps away, but he just ended up giving up another kill over to the side of Blackhawk.
I think he found Cold Ice on low health at that point, and he thought he could go ahead and go for it. But, you know, Blackhawk have the nice rotations, and of course they're going to defend their Rona.
Most certainly. And right now, Leia sitting on a heavy prism, got a crystal bit, gonna be doing a little bit of damage. I think he's going for that early Frostburn. I think that's gonna be an incredibly powerful pickup for both Leia and Denier. If they can keep the slows on to the side of Blackhawk, I don't think Blackhawk can even touch them.
Yeah, well, there's a nice little poke around here in mid lane. It's just a constant posture. They don't want to let either team feel like they have, you know, that they can get comfortable and just settle down into lane. So everyone has to stay on their toes at all points. You know, one of the things when you don't commit to a fight, but you get in there and you just poke at them, you come around from the back like that, it makes the laner just feel cautious. And sometimes they just miss CS because of that.
Right. Just putting that pressure in, like that mental game. You don't have to do anything. As long as the enemy thinks you're doing something, it'll work.
It's the art of war.
Oh.
Death from above comes down, is not going to land on Siska. Nice reposition there, and will live through that.
Yep, fantastic play. And the Aftershock coming out onto Siska, as expected. He does have that Aftershock. It's not going to be able to do too much damage right now. He will be able to chunk down Fortress a little bit, but right now, Leia, with that Broken Myth, not going for the Frostman as I expected, but still going to be able to do a huge amount of damage to the enemy side.
Yeah, well, Angry Panda's quite happy to take down the turret here and then just go ahead and move back to jungle. Oh, well, there's going to be an engagement here. Are you kidding me? Xuan's eating so much damage. That's not what they wanted. And Vox will go ahead and get that kill now off to the west. Leia's isolated. He'll go down as Siska gets that kill. And that'll just leave Denier forced out of the jungle. And two easy kills. I mean, could they have avoided that?
They got caught a little bit out of position. They thought they had an advantage because Vox was low, so Cisco took a lot of damage before that fight even happened. But Rona just snuck up behind, and Cold Ice, his positioning was impeccable that fight.
Yeah, Cold Ice doing a great job consistently keeping good positioning and just showing what it can do for you right there.
Yep, right now, so Cisco farming up as well as he can. 59 CS. Not huge. He's exactly tied with Leia. And on the other side, Cold Ice and Denier are pretty even too. So pretty even game coming out across the board. A little bit of gold advantage over to BlH. 200 gold. Nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty even as far as resources on the map, but you see still 5-1 advantage going the way of BlH, and they're just able to find kills.
Right, and right now the gold mine's about to pay out, so I think BlH's going to pull up a nice little advantage, about 900 gold. So Siska trying to just jump away with the Sonic Zoom. He'll be just fine. And right now you see John using that Attack of the Pack, just trying to find out where BlH is hiding.
Yeah, Attack of the Pack to gain some knowledge there. The Gauntlet does go down. Bastion eating a lot of damage. They turn around to Schwen. Leia also eating damage. They spread it out onto everyone. It's going to be a 2-for-1 at this point. Denier forced back with that forward barrage, and he's going to make it. Is he? No, Sasiska's going to get it.
That was a fantastic play by Siska, honestly. Like, going for that dive was absolutely fantastic. He was able to just get out with barely a tiny tick of health. One more hit from the turret, and he would have gone down.
Yeah, these guys just, I mean, they're professional players, right? They can push it to the edge, and Sasiska did it there. So quite impressive, and we'll look to see if they can make any more of these plays as time goes on here.
Most certainly. I think it will be a little bit tough for them to make plays as the game goes on longer, as Angry Pandas does get more poking power. However, Sasiska, going for that breaking point, this is actually a build we saw a decent amount in the VGL qualifiers online in Europe. And the Aftershock into the breaking point, this means you're going to have some pretty decent damage just by using Sonic Zoom. And as long as you're hitting people, your breaking point will just stack up and up and up, and eventually you'll just destroy everyone.
Right, so this is a bit of like that mixed weapon and crystal build, right?
Most certainly. You're not going to be able to really defend against it that easily. And right now, there's not that much defense coming out from the side of Angry Pandas. They have some light shields. They have a little bit of armor. Xuan going for the armor. Leia and Denier going a little bit of light shields. But they're expecting to take more damage from Crystal, but Sasiska is just completely changing that up.
Yeah, well, they've moved down. Leia able to get to the shop, does pop that scout trap. But, you know, I get the feeling from the movement that we see out of Angry Pandas that at some point that they want to get this gold mine.
Most certainly. They're definitely trying for it, but at this point, I'm not sure if they want to take a fight. They really just want to stop the game. They are 3 levels behind right now. Denier, level 9. Leia, actually, he just hit level 10. And Sasiska, level 10 to Cold Ice is level 11.
Yeah, it's really hard. Leia isolated. He's going to get taken down, chunked down. Denier, maybe the next to go. Gauntlet does go down, and now Xuan's the last man standing, and you get the ace going to BlH. 11 kills to the 2 of Angry Pandas here at 11-minute mark, and it's kind of starting to turn into the same story we saw in Game 1.
And this was just the classic story of, overstaying your welcome. Like, they were pushing out a little bit too far for how... Like, they didn't have a turret behind them. I don't know why they were out so far in lane. If they were just, sticking next to the turret, farming it up, they would have been completely fine.
Right. Well, I guess it could be 2 things, right? Either they're just a little overconfident, or they just misread the situation in that touch.
Most certainly. I guess they didn't expect BlH to loop around them. And off of that, BlH taking another 2 turrets, things are looking a little bit dire for the Angry Pandas.
Cold Ice comes in, takes these minion camps. They will take the minion mine as well on their way out. They just pumping the damage out, getting this gold, and Angry Pandas can't be happy about this. And I mean, Game 1, once they got the advantage, they pressed it, and then Angry Pandas ended up being choked out of the map, right? They couldn't get into the jungle, they couldn't get minions in the lane without being in fear of dying, essentially. And they've held their own up to this point in the game. They're by no means out of it, but it's starting to unfold.
Right, there's definitely a glimmer of hope for Angry Pandas, though. Last game, they went with a fairy. Whoop, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Cold Ice jumps forward. He's pumping out mad damage. Leia goes down. It's the full ace. Are you kidding me? Come on. Fortress goes down as well. These guys, that was just a great engagement, but it's the damage coming out is insane. I think Sasiska, he got the pulse out. He was pumping out damage onto multiple targets there, and that was just a great fight.
Yeah, I said there was a glimmer of hope, but things are definitely darkening right now for Angry Pandas. Another turret might be going down right here. Yep, goes down. BlH just gonna back off and do whatever they want, really. At this point, they're in a commanding lead.
They have no fear. I mean, so many of these games were like, okay, look, you won the fight, whatever, and we're like, wow, it's pretty early in the game. It's short respawn timers. They're not going to get anything. But these guys just move in and take that turret anyway.
Most certainly, they know exactly what objectives they want. They know that once they take the fight, they can take 1 objective, 2 objectives, as much as they want. They just took the minion mine. They're going to potentially go back, take their own minion mine, and just completely shove Angry Pandas into their base.
All right, well, it's a dire situation. Off the back of an ace, they get the turret, they get all of the jungle camps as well, and then just move back into the middle of the map here. And Angry Pandas, they're going to have to be careful with their positioning. They have to keep
Immense
positive.
gold
This is not the
payout
time in the game where you want to be like, starting to feel flustered or get an anxiety about what's happening, because this is the point where you really need to play your absolute best.
Most certainly. And right now, as I said, there is that glimmer of hope. Angry Pandas, they do have a fantastic late game team composition, but they really have to make it there.
Yeah, well, I think they know that it's a very tough situation as they do a 3-man recall back into base. They pick up some items, and well, look at the mass infusions coming out of Blackhawk over here. It feels like they're ready to end this game.
Right, Blackhawk has so many options right now. They can wait for Kraken. They can just push in themselves. All they really need to do right here is just stand around. They don't even have to do anything in this base of Angry Pandas. They literally have to just wait until Kraken spawns. They have 40 seconds. They just need to dance around.
Yeah, well, they can wait around, but they are in base. They're going to keep them choked here. And it looks like Denier forced back into the fountain. And man, these guys, they do turret damage while they can. But is this over aggressive? Cold Ice jumps forward onto Leia. The gauntlet will go down from Bash, and Denier's going to fall. They get the turret. They get the kill. And they're not, I mean, it doesn't look like they're even going to lose anyone off the back of this. And now it's onto the Vayne. I think we're going to see the end of this game shortly if nothing short of a miracle happens here for the Angry Pandas. Vox going to clean up Fortress as well. Cold Ice just able to live through this as the Vanguard at a Bastion is there. And these guys are quite impressive. 16-2 at 50.